Welcome everybody to the Ponderosa, southern Kansas, and we out here in the fields trying to get ready for harvest soon. Boy, the old wheat headed out quickly here when it got to 90 degrees. It needs warmer temperatures, we found out, but it's going to be quite a while before we harvest wheat, and in fact it's going to be at least 2 weeks later than normal. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but more importantly, we'll talk about a couple of issues that will affect a lot of us in agriculture in 60 seconds.
I first got started in the cattle business. My wife and my father-in-law got me into it. I love dealing with the animals and being in the outdoors. At American Ag Credit, I know a lot of them are in the same business that I am. Therefore they understand what I need and what problems I'm against, so they can work with you on it, and it makes it much easier.
It's been passed down to me through the generations, and I want to pass it on down to the next generation or two.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Straub International can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horse ranging from 30 to 140, plus an army of attachments, a Farmall can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing, and then some. Visit Straub International, your Case IH dealer at any of our 7 locations, to find a Farmall that's right for you.
Well, friends, the U.S. Supreme Court voted in favor of Monsanto Company. In case you haven't heard, and I'm sure you probably have, back some time ago, the justices unanimously upheld an $85,000 approximately award to Monsanto against Vernon Bowman, an Indiana farmer. Rather than buying herbicides-resistant soybean seeds from a Monsanto-authorized dealer, Bowman used harvested soybeans containing the technology to plant his own crops. Now, Bowman planted Monsanto's patented soybeans solely to make and market replicas of them, thus depriving the company of the reward patent law provides for the sale of each article. That's what Justice Kagan wrote for the Supreme Court, and that all went in favor of Monsanto Company. Farmers, we all know that we're not supposed to do that, but this gentleman figured that the patent had run out, and that's why he did it, and that's why he tested it, and I guess that's why he lost. Keep that in mind. The other thing that I want to talk about in this Steckline Report is what's going on in Washington with the Farm Bill. We'll keep you updated as it happens, but quite honestly, it's an interesting session that's going on with crop insurance. If there's anything about that farm bill that makes sense, it's the federal crop insurance program, and helps the farmers more than anything else in that bill. In fact, I say there's nothing in there that I want except that crop insurance program held properly. Now, the Ag Committees, both in the House and Senate, have done a good job. They've kept it intact well, in fact, have added to it in some cases. But we've got some groups that are really pushing hard to cut back the subsidies to the point where it might be a no-brainer for a farmer to try to use it. And one of the guys that's doing that is a guy that kind of started the whole deal and was in favor of it. In any event, his name is Babcock. He's a former director of Iowa State University Center for Ag and Rural Development. He says when somebody else pays for drinks, most party growers drink more than they would than if they paid for it. Now, why would he say something like that and refer it to farmers using crop insurance? But that's what he's out doing right now. And I can tell you why he's saying that. Because he's working for somebody that is paying him pretty good. That's exactly right. That's the Environmental Working Group and American Enterprise Institute. Those two outfits have been really working hard to combat and try to knock back insurance coverage for crops in America. And I got to tell you, so far they haven't had much luck. If the full House and the full Senate have the same attitude that their Ag Committees have, I'm talking up at the tree and don't need to visit about it. But right now I think it's good for you to talk to your congressmen and senators to make sure that they know they have your support, because right now we have theirs and I feel very good about it. But in any event, they want to cut the amount of money that the government is paying, and they've got some decent fighting sources. For example, this guy is saying that administrative costs have tripled since 2001. In fact, more than tripled. taxpayer subsidies that pay more than 60% of growers' premiums, and the government's growing exposure from harvest price guarantees is going up every year. Over the next 10 years, the cost of the crop insurance program, $8.6 billion a year. And when taxpayers hear this, you can imagine which side of the fence they might jump to. So we need to quiet this guy down, more importantly this group down, by giving our own information. Because I'm going to tell you, if we go back to a disaster program, and we spend more money on that if we approve disaster programs every time there's a disaster, and it's usually a year after it takes place, it's just a mess. This crop insurance program is a good one. Let's hope they get their minds set in the House and the Senate not to listen to these groups and to go forward with what their ag committees want. See you next time around.